Previously, we looked at the important concept of folders and files and how this organizational system is used by you and your operating system to manage all the contents of your hard drive. Now, it's important to note that many of the folders and files on your computer are not for your use. They're there for the operating system to run properly. In some cases, these files and folders are protected by the operating system, so you'll be unable to move, rename, or delete them. But there are files and folders you can move around if you know what you're doing, but can also potentially damage your system if you don't. That's why your personal account on your computer includes a user folder. Let's take a look at how to get to the user folder before we learn what it is. Now, there are faster ways to get to some of the folders inside your user folder than what I'm about to show you, but I also want you to see exactly where this folder is located, so bear with me. Currently, I don't have any windows open or any applications running. I'm going to click the Start menu, and here I'll select File Explorer, and then in the window that opens, I'm going to select this PC. This opens a window displaying all the hard drives currently installed in my PC, as well as any drives on my network, and removable media drives like my DVD drive. At the top of this window, we have folders, and these are actually the folders inside my user folder, but I'm going to ignore those for the moment. Now, this local disk, labeled Drive C, is my main or startup hard drive containing the operating system. I'm going to double-click it, and that displays the contents of the C drive. Now, most of these folders you see here are for the Windows operating system's use, and you generally don't want to mess around in them unless you know what you're doing. But what I'm interested in here is the Users folder. So I'll take a look inside there. And in the Users folder, you'll find a folder with your name on it, or whatever the name of your account is, as well as folders for any other user accounts on the computer. To view the contents of your user folder, double-click it. So your user folder is your folder. It's where you can store all of your documents, music, photos, videos, and so on. Now, you can store files in other parts of your hard drive, but there are very few reasons to do that. It's best to keep all of your personal files here in your personal folder so they're all in one central location. You're also free to create additional folders in your user folder or within any of these other default folders as your needs require. So that's your user folder. Anytime you're using an application and you want to save a file, for example, if you're writing a paper and want to save it, you should navigate to the Documents folder in your user folder, or into a folder you have nested inside the Documents folder. We'll talk about how to save and open files in the next chapter. For now, I just want you to know where you should be storing your stuff on your PC. Now, since you'll probably need to access folders like documents, pictures, and music fairly frequently, as I previously mentioned, it's actually much easier to get to them than the path I just showed you. But I first wanted you to know exactly where this folder is located. I'm just going to close this window for a moment. Now, one way we saw to get to our user folders is to click the Start menu, go to File Explorer, and here we have Frequent Folders, and you can see my user folders are here. But there's no guarantee that these folders are always going to appear here because these are the frequent folders, or the folders you use the most frequently. Another way to get to your user folder quickly is to go to the Start menu, to Settings, then go to Personalization, and then click Start. From here you can scroll down and choose which folders appear on the Start menu. So if you often need to open the Documents folder, I can turn on the Documents switch. But I actually prefer to scroll all the way down and enable Personal Folder. So I'll close Settings, and now when I click the Start menu, notice there's both a Documents option and a Personal Folder option here. I like the Personal Folder option because that way I can get to all of my folders quickly without cluttering up my Start menu with individual folders. Now also notice on the left side of the window we have a Quick Access area, which you can use to quickly get to places like your Pictures folder, your Documents, and so on. Alright, so that's your user folder in Windows. Again, I highly recommend that you store and organize all of your personal files and other media in this location.